I'm just looking at that and I'm saying, look, Brock Purdy, he's a solid QB, but when it's easier to have a higher completion percentage when you're not having as many pass attempts as, let's say, a Dak. Like Dak, he. One time. Yesterday, I woke up, turned on the TV, was watching Get Up, and, there was a segment on Brock Purdy. And Ryan Clark, if you don't know who Ryan Clark is, he's a former Steeler, former Washington Commander, and he was a safety, by the way. He sort of agreed with some of our analysis that he said. He sort of spoke some of the same things that we have been saying about Brock Purdy. He pretty much essentially said that the players around him are elevating Brock Purdy, not Brock Purdy elevating the players around him. And, oh my gosh. Like, doesn't that sound like some of the stuff we've been saying? And he didn't say, like, Brock Purdy. He wasn't talking about sort of the elite, like, sort of conversation that we had. But it's pretty similar in what he was saying in terms of, look, watch the film. Like, he literally said, watch the film. It's on the film. So they use that, and I find it interesting because I was, like, before the podcast even started, I was, like, searching up different stats and whatever. Like, one of the things was when it comes to tight window throws, I was trying to find a stat about, okay, what QBs have thrown the most tight window throws, and I couldn't find it. And that's one of the most glaring things is that it's so hard to find the stats that are very important to what makes a QB great. And so I'm trying to find, okay, tight window throws, like how many were attempted, how many were completed. I couldn't find any of them. And that's just a problem. And then another stat I was trying to find was what NFL team has like the most like pass catchers with the most separation, that create the most separation. I couldn't find that either. So I'm like, damn, where's all the important stats that I can find? And all I can really say when it comes to the whole narrative regarding that specific stat that they use for Brock Purdy is I said this, I'm gonna say it again, watch the film. Just like what Ryan Clark said, watch the film. The film literally says it. And that clip, after Ryan Clark said it's in the film, what happened? It was like a quick, it was a little pause. You know what I'm saying? It was a little pause. And the guy that responded to him, it took him a little second to sort of respond. And I'm like, yeah. You know it's true. And he said, well, in my opinion, just like how these people in the comment section talk. In my opinion, Brock Purdy, he's a good quarterback because he has the most, air yards and stuff like that. I'm like, all right, bro. See, we got you. And I'm just glad that Ryan Clark kept it 100. Like, he's one of the very few that finally told it how it is. All these other people are just ignoring what the film shows. What is your reaction to the video?
Well, I agreed with what Ryan Clark said pretty much the entire way through. I was actually trying to find, I seen a stat talking about receiver separation and stuff. I actually seen a chart or something like that, like last Sunday or so, but I'm still looking for it. Yeah, I agree with Ryan Clark says. Listen, Brock Purdy, he's good for what the 49ers need him to do. But like Ryan Clark also said, we seen what he looked like when he didn't have when dudes were hurt.
Yeah,
we seen what he looked like, and then the other guy, I don't know his name because I don't watch that show. Mike Tannenbaum. He said, well, he got the Browns in field goal range. The kicker just missed.
Yeah, Jake Moody. Yeah.
Yeah, but also, if he was the guy, he would have just he looked bad that entire game.
Yeah. Right.
Like if Brandon Ayuk ain't put on the Superman cape, he actually that play that got them in field goal range was a yak play kind of.
Oh.
Unless I'm misremembering, but Brandon Ayuk did a lot of heavy lifting that drive.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I don't know why 49ers want to. Do they know what comes with having an elite QB or a top tier QB? You know, like the moment Brock Purdy shrivels, it's going to be bad for them. They should be glad that people are underrating their QB or saying he's not this, he's not that. Because honestly, they don't want want that pressure. Yeah, they haven't had an elite QB or a top tier QB since what, Kaepernick?
Shit,
and even he wasn't even like.
I wouldn't even say. I mean, he was good. He was good, but I wouldn't even call him elite. Like Steve Young was the last time they had a elite QB.
So I'm telling you, you better be glad people just saying this about Brock, because once you start putting him in them convos, and now that he's an MVP candidate and he's the front runner in the betting odds, a lot of people gonna be having that microscope on him, waiting for him to mess up, man. So
I feel like he's been more overrated by the media than underrated. I feel like a lot of the times it comes from the fans and people on Twitter that are sort of underrating him, but like for the most part in the media, not a lot of people are really saying, "Oh yeah, Brock Purdy, he's not this, he's not that." Like I've seen more of just positives than negatives when it comes to Brock Purdy. This is the reason why he's the betting favorite for the NFL MVP right now. I just look at Brock Purdy and I say, okay, he's done a really good job on this offense. He's been solid.
I found a chart.
Okay, what is the chart, sir?
It's from December 1st, so it is even taking the Eagles game, which honestly could have helped boosted this.
Yeah.
But it says how often quarterbacks throw to open/wide open receivers in charted accuracy. Brock Purdy is second on the list behind Tua.
Oh.
As far as wide receiver separation.
Oh, wait, where did you get that from?
It is from who made this? Is it Next Gen? It's here's that chart. Football Insights.
Okay, all right. Yeah, send me that because I need that.
Passes 5+ yards downfield. So it takes account passes 5 yards downfield, not screen passes or none of that.
Okay.
So it says that Brock Purdy most of his throws is between. How do I word this? So Tua, most of his receiver separation, they're open, like wide open.
Yeah.
Over 43% of the time for Tua.
Okay.
So, but Brock Purdy, he's second, and his is about 40.
Okay. Yeah.
And as far as his highly accurate rate, I don't know how that's determined, but it's close to 53%. So yeah, I mean, dudes are wide open for the 49ers. It is what it is.
I hate that we have to use stats and not just look at the film, but that's just how it is.
And for Dak Prescott, he is around the 34% range.
Okay.
And he has a highly accurate rate. So I mean, I don't know what point the 49ers want to prove. We're not calling Brock Purdy trash. Like, I don't know what fight they're fighting.
Yeah. And I want to do something different. I want to I'm going
to see if I can find a more updated
chart. More people are sort of commenting on our videos. I want to sort of just respond to some comments. Like, number one, I feel like it was this guy. He responded to, well, I don't know if it's a guy or a girl, but he responded to what is the criteria for being a...
found another chart.
Oh, really? What was it?
The Week 13 2023 QBs on perfectly covered plays.
Mm-hmm.
Brock Purdy is dead last in percent of plays perfectly covered at less than 25%. So over 3/4 of the time, he's throwing to wide open dudes.
Yeah, send me that. Send me both of those. I need that immediately, just so people will understand how easy Brock Purdy has it in that offense. But anyway,
and the EPA on perfectly covered plays, even though his is only 25%.
Yeah,
it's on par with the Dak and Lamar's. But compared to Dak Prescott, he is in the 30s percentile for percentage of plays perfectly covered.
I was looking at pass attempts, and Brock Purdy, for all the quarterbacks that have started the same amount of games as him, he's in the lower end of quarterbacks when it comes to pass attempts. And I was looking at, obviously he has like the highest completion percentage, right? Well, Tua has far more pass attempts than him, but a little bit less of a completion percentage than Brock Purdy. So I'm just looking at that and I'm saying, look, Brock Purdy, he's a solid QB, but when it's easier to have a higher completion percentage when you're not having as many pass attempts as, let's say, a Dak. Like Dak, I think he has like 60. I think he's at like 67% completion percentage, and he has far more passing attempts.
I think it's 70 actually.
70. Then why? Then how is Brock Purdy? How does Brock Purdy have the most? It must be like a really small percentage point. But regardless, Dak has far more passing attempts than Brock Purdy, and yet Brock Purdy has the higher completion percentage. And so that people say, oh, Brock Purdy leads the league in completion percentage, but how many passing attempts does he have? That's where I sort of look at it in comparison to the other QBs.
Yeah, Dak has a 70.1% completion percentage, which is absurd.
Absurd. But, people just look at the percentages rather than, okay, how many attempts? And when you look at the attempts, it says it all. So that's just how I'm looking at it.
Look, cold world, still a cold world. And a couple y'all is cool, but we a little more thorough. Whole time, a little more girls. You know I spit that sick shit and it's still no cure. Hold up.